and gentlemen, welcome back to the World OTT Show. What an incredible panel discussion that was. So much to learn from there. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, for our keynote, we've got on how OTT and cloud are changing the future of sports broadcasting. We're joined by our eminent speaker, Shabir Momin, MD and CDO, Zenga TV Singapore. Shabir has been a successful business record at CxO level before he became an entrepreneur. He sold few ventures in the past, and his current ventures that he has founded and co-founded are Zenga TV, One Digital Entertainment, which is a digital content company, oneaccess.com, amongst others. Well, Shabir is joining us back at the World OTT Show today. Thank you so much, Shabir. How are you doing?
Thank you, Bhavna. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. So, Shabir, looking forward to this session with you. Over to you now.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Let me give you a quick little background on what we have been doing on different forms of businesses so that you can get the perspective of why and how and we do things this way. So I've been an early entrepreneur, started at a very early age and built, sold businesses. And then we started with Zenga TV, which is our OTT platform. Which we launched in 2009, and our launch platform was itself IPL. So when we started with that, in those days, cloud computing was extremely new. I mean, we were the first Amazon AWS customers in India. Amazon AWS themselves did not launch the service technically in India, but because it was cloud, you could use it from anywhere in the world. And they were also shocked and surprised at who's this company out of India, which is using, and not just using our services, using significantly large size, because we ended up doing almost about 6 million concurrent users in those days in a live broadcast, which was only possible when you have a cloud service. Now, today it is, I'm looking at 13 years later or 12 years later, we're looking at OTT and we're looking at cloud, and they just go hand in hand. You cannot imagine a OTT running out of your own data centers, or you cannot have the existence of OTT in real sense without having a cloud in mind, because one, either you have to be a regional operation, which means you're operating out of any specific country or you're any specific region. But if you are a global player, then you definitely need even larger sets of cloud integrations and multi-CDN integrations and other stuff. Now, the benefit of clouds are at many, many levels that we see. We were one of the earliest adapters, the first customer, the first guys who actually broadcasted IPL on YouTube. And we had 2 feeds to run. Just to share an experience, when we were running the feed, from a technology point of view, we were very bullish. We wanted to do a bigger, better, and we launched those days, there was no 4K, there was only 2K at max, and we launched a 2K feed, and we thought it would be great fun. But we started seeing users having challenges because the user end bandwidth was not enough. And because of which, we slowly started tapering it down, and we knocked off the 2K feed because there were very few users on that, and we added a lot of other feeds. We added a 1080p with 720p, we added a 420p, and even a 120p. And then we started seeing a significant portion of the users are sitting at 120p. And what we did was we kept dropping the quality because the volume was what was important, and it was not coming out that way. And these dynamic changes are only possible whether it is number of servers, number of users, kind of things, and all of that is only possible when you're on cloud. Now, if you look at a time today, which is it's moving into a very new dimension now. I mean, if you look at the use of virtual reality, augmented reality, avatars, 3D models with animations, and also infographic layering and real-time infographic, real-time on-screen technologies which will measure different things for you. These are some things which are really, really, really dynamically changing the whole way the sports is in an overall don't call it broadcast anymore. I call it like a simulcast now, because what you see on TV is how it has been forever, with small changes on technologies, on infographics and information side. But imagine doing the same thing. I'll give you an example. We have a World Test match coming up tomorrow, right, which is on 18th. World Test Championship, actually. We have, as an entity, we have the exclusive global audio rights for it, and we are going to be broadcasting this on YouTube. But on a YouTube, you need to do a visual. So what we have is we have a virtual studio which is built extravagantly, along with all the load ups of technology, information, infographics, all of that. It's almost like watching a match, but not watching a match. And you're listening to the information, you're having fun, you're interacting. It's power packed with cricketers, with celebrities, and all of that. So earlier, there used to be a very dumb, boring version of commentary that used to come. Now it's all spiced up. And the advantage of this is you don't have to keep your eyes glued onto it. You can keep listening, keep having fun, keep looking at it, keep getting distracted. That's okay. And that's where we feel that there's a lot of innovation happening. Even in real sports. I mean, I'll give you an example, where if you have to analyze any information. I mean, look at the analysis that is done today. A lot of this information is done today in a very, very unique way. And these are all possible because of very high capabilities of technology, being able to compute fast and being able to travel across border because of cloud. And that integration actually saves and enhances the experience at a multiple level. I mean, while we were talking about cricket, which is one of the most loved sports worldwide, I mean, imagine there are so many other forms of sports that are there which are difficult to be consumed. And the only way it is being brought to us is brought to us through a combination of cloud and OTT now, because the broadcast has become too expensive. And things which are traveling on internet now through OTT and all that is comparatively much more economical to produce, comparatively much more easier to distribute, and the scale is there. So if you look at a lot of unique games which are happening, whether it is Olympic, whether it is so many other things, it's not easy to be able to be physically be present there. But the experience that we feel today sitting at home is actually much more richer than on the physical experience. I mean, there are now experiences being expected. Like, I'll give you an example. We do have lounge accesses and all of that in these ICC cricket matches. Now, what happens is the expectation that they're saying is that while I'm sitting in the stadium and watching the match, my experience of watching it at home is much better. And that's not because of the convenience of the home. That's because of the information. That's because of access to real-time information available at your tip. And now, for alterating that, what we did was we did an innovation there. We created a small earpiece instrument which is connected to a local wireless system or a radio system, which people plug in into their ears and sit in the stadium. And while they're watching the content, whole sports happen live, they're actually listening to it also. So they're not missing out the additional information, the details of the information, who did what, how. If you lost a few seconds, you were distracted, you missed something, but you'll be able to hear it. So that combination is really coming up. So and this kind of augmentation in many versions are coming up. Now, there will be in future augmentations happening on ground also, where while you're watching a live sports, you could actually use a VR glasses and start looking at augmented versions of the content on ground in real time. And all this is really possible because of the combination of many technologies, cloud, and capability to scale and make it viable. If we didn't have that, I don't think that would have been possible. The other important aspect also about sports is, one, sports churns out a lot of volume of data, both in shape of videos, informations, infographics, statistical data, and so many other data, which would not have been able to be capitalized or used and returned in future and managed properly on the drop of a hat. I mean, today, if we need information about something that has happened few years back, you can just pull it out in just few seconds, and the access of information. All this is possible because we have that combination today. And OTT uh, is technically the new version of TV in the world. I mean, they're replacing TV in as many ways as you can think of, and I think it's accelerated significantly during the pandemic time in the last 1.5 years time, and we will see more of this. But the richness of experience that you're going to see in the near future is going to be extremely be breathtaking, I would say, and you will see things which have never been seen. I mean, look at, we're doing this conference also in a similar virtual environment now, and slowly you'll adapt to it, but you will enjoy it further. The experience will become much better, and the more you keep going, and the more the innovations are happening in this space, and I'm aware of a lot of them which are there, are really changing the way the whole experience of sports, the feeling. I mean, you would be able to get a cockpit view, you will be able to get a driver's seat view, you will be able to get an experience of the thrill very soon. All this is happening is because we are being able to produce a lot of data, a lot of information, a lot of number of feeds, and are being able to transmit that at a very comparatively lower cost and at scale. I think that's the sheer beauty of what it is. I mean, the same sports. I mean, look at, for example, I'll give you a parting note. The same picture 50 years back was black and white. Did not mean that it did not have color in real life. It did, but the experience was black and white. And then we moved to color, and then we moved to richer experience, and then we've moved to 3D experience. And the next near future is almost like a real touch and feel kind of an experience, but even though you won't be able to touch it, but the experience is going to keep becoming richer. And these are all thanks to how the whole technology world has come together to put this, both from OTT's evolution of technology as well as cloud evolution of technology, and also integration of technology into the sports itself. I'm up on my time, so I'm good if we need to get it going. Bhavna.
Sure. Thank you so much, Shabir. Firstly, once again, a big thank you for joining us yet again. You know, it's great when a speaker comes back on the platform and enriches the audience with their experience. So thank you once again, Shabir.